I, a pronoun, which can also be known as an individual, an independent, distinctive individual. From the minute I was born to the concrete minute I'm existing in right now, I have always been I, and you were simply another I. Each I's are composed of different stories, admirations, success, and failures. Us, which can also be known as relationships. The 13-lettered word in which we are all either very confused, knowledgeable, or interested about. In fact, let me ask you a question. How many of you are involved in a healthy relationship? I'm positive that's a handful of you, which will make the topic relationships extremely relevant to you. But for those who did not respond to that question, don't worry, as the aspect of relationships that I will be discussing is essentially also very relatable and hopefully engaging for you too. But before I begin, what are relationships? Number 1, the way two things are connected. Number 2, the way in two or more people feel and behave towards each other. Number 3, a close romantic friendship between people, often sexual ones. Number 4, a relationship in which you have feelings of love and hate for someone or something. Number 5, the family connection between people. There I read you a definition from the world's most trusted Cambridge dictionary, so no doubt would their definition be accurate. To be honest, shouldn't we all be convinced by it? But if you're completely convinced, I am sad to tell you that in the next 5 minutes, I will be talking against your beliefs. Now today, I'm not here to talk about relationships with your family, significant other, or teachers, etc. What I am, in fact, questioning is how the society, and even a dictionary, can neglect such an important part of relationships, our relationships with ourselves. As assignments and commitments pile up, we begin to worry, stress, and strain. In such cases, self-love is the most important form of self-encouragement, to enhance our overall work ethic and happiness. Every so often, difficulties occur. We experience difficulties when we're in a situation that are over our capability, causing them to be obnoxious for us to deal with. It is also the fact that life brings us down as we let life down. It is how we treat and react to these internal conflicts that really matter. Just like any other teenager, I have been in experiences where a series of overwhelming situations were silently building up to drown me. I felt all kinds of pain aching in me, emotionally, physically, and mentally. The excessive pile of schoolwork, the intricate bits of maintaining healthy relationships, the lack of time from overcommitment, the feeling of regret, fatigue, misery, and exasperation. The list goes on and on. Such difficulties come and go, and is part of the expected and usual process of growing up. So how does this all relate back to the concept of self-loving? The problem is we hide and we fake things. We lie about our true feelings, how we're facing obstacles, and living on the very edge of being depressed sometimes. And if I were to be honest with you, we students, and even the human colony in general, aren't always that self-loving. Although this may not necessarily be applicable to you right now, admit it, we've all done it before, keeping occasional small things to ourselves since we don't see the need for someone to comfort our feelings to. We fear the world that lives outside of our brain. We mute the volume of our thoughts that are screaming vigorously in the silence just so no one can hear us or judge us. However, remaining silent with our problems will also close up the opportunity for someone to support us. And this closed-up opportunity is also the starting point towards all feelings of sadness, whether it is the weekly breakdowns or the vicious cycle of depression, anxiety, or any other mental health issues. For instance, as other people start to build hate on you, your self-hate increases. Just as other people's love for you increases, your self-love increases. This, therefore, should lead you to not only developing healthy relationships with everyone in your surroundings, but more importantly, a healthy relationship with oneself. Oscar Wilde once says, "To love oneself is the beginning of a lifelong romance." Without having the appropriate amount of faith and assurance in ourselves, we may not be able to fully participate in any other healthy relationships. Now here is what I propose for us, you and me, to open up to the people around us as an act of self-love. It is an act to show a willingness towards taking responsibility for your own problems. It is also an act of promise for yourself that you will be able to get through everything, no matter what it takes. As random as the statistic might sound, anxiety affects 20% of adolescents, so that's 1 in every 5 of us. These 20% of mental illness patients are a clear representation of being the silent victims, those who keep things to themselves. And therefore, mental illness is one of the many consequences that we could face as we enter the stage of keeping things to ourselves, because our problems will only multiply and not decrease. Or who knows, maybe you've tried, maybe you've reached out, but there was no one willing to help. In the midst of huge crowds, all you can see are the discouraging looks on people, trying to tell you to give up and to surrender because of the few people who've recently discouraged you. However, today I am here to tell you, regardless of what you're facing, you are not alone. And with experiences that lead to the consequences like the above one, we continue to conceal our deepest sorrows, rather keeping all the weight on our bare shoulders than risking to tell someone about our problems. Whether you're sitting here with a broken heart or crestfallen, you do not have to remain this way. Please know that you are not alone, and even what may seem the darkest nights, please know that you are loved, even when you may appear to seem lonely. For those who are lost and broken in this world, do not capitulate, and for those who are joyous and fortunate, reach out for the ones in need of our help. People care and people love. Ladies and gentlemen, you are loved. So do not be fearful to consult your friends and family. But if a professional seems like a better option for you, go to a counselor or even a therapist. These people will be able to guide and lead you through the obstacles you are facing. However, if you continue to remain silent, in the end, you will only come to disappoint yourself more than anyone else. Hopefully, after my few minutes of a not-so-inspiring speech, you have acknowledged the fact that you are loved for no matter who you are. People will recognize you for your individual traits and characteristics, and no one else's, because each one of you are special and unique. And what about the speech I've made for the last couple of minutes? It is not about me, nor is it a critique on human society. It is for you to realize that for once, you are not alone. You are loved.